after you have listened to the rough-faced girl again, this is not a sheet that you have in your packet. Okay, guys, so do not worry about filling this in. This is just something that I've made so that we can kind of have a little bit of a comparison discussion between these two stories. All right. These are some questions that I wanted to ask you. Who are the main characters? Okay, so in Cinderella, the main characters are Cinderella, okay, and her stepsisters. And one other really good one would be the fairy godmother. Okay. And then we're going to ask ourselves the same question. Who were the main characters in The Rough-Faced Girl? We can say the Rough-Faced Girl. Okay, that's one. All right, let me try to focus here. Boop, okay. We have the rough-faced girl. We have the sisters. And there's two again, just like in Cinderella. Okay, but these are her actual sisters. And then we have the invisible being sister. Invisible. She played a big part in there. Okay. Again, you do not have this sheet, so don't look for it. You do not have this, okay? All right, for setting, where or when, okay, did this story take place? These are fairy tales, and we've talked about this with the elements of a fairy tale. We're not exactly sure when they take place in time. We just know that they are usually a long time ago, because they usually say once upon a time or a long time ago is how they start. So I'm trying to get my camera so I'm at least talking to you, kind of. So we're not sure when they take place, but we can say where they took place. And yesterday we talked about cultures, and so we know that Cinderella took place in France. Okay. And the Rough-Faced Girl took place in Ontario. All right. The setting of Cinderella was like at the palace, okay, or a castle. And the Rough-Faced Girl was in the out in the woods, okay. Okay, problem. What was the problem of the story? There were several problems, but the main problem that both of the main characters, both Cinderella and the Rough-Faced Girl, had was that they were both kind-hearted characters, but their sisters or their stepsisters were mean. Okay, and so we could say Cinderella, life is miserable by the stepsisters. Okay. And in the Rough-Faced Girl, it's the same thing. They're making her stoke the fires, and of course that's caused her to be burned and scarred, and her hair to be singed from the heat of the fire, and so she's not as beautiful on the outside as they are. So they're mean to her. They call her names. They tease her about the way she looks. So we can write the same thing. Life is miserable. By sisters. These were her sisters. Okay. Okay, and how did the main character respond to the challenges that they faced? Okay, and this kind of comes from their characteristics, their inside characteristics that we were talking about, not their exterior, how they look. This is like how they react, how do they feel, their personalities, okay? And so the challenges that Cinderella had through the whole story was she continued to be nice, even when they were being, at the exact same time that they were being mean to her. Okay, they're sitting there teasing her and she continues to be nice. So she, I'm going to write a C again, Cinderella. I hear something crashing. I'm pretty sure that Evie just got into something. Continued to be nice when, and I'm going to do SS, so that's for stepsisters. Okay. Were mean. Okay. Cinderella continued to be nice when the stepsisters were mean. She did that through the whole entire story, even at the end when she didn't have to be. Remember, she was transformed back into the beautiful princess, and her stepsisters then, they begged her for forgiveness. They felt ashamed because they, were so excited about meeting this beautiful princess before when they were at the ball, and then they realized that it was her. So of course they're begging her for forgiveness. And she didn't have to give it to them. She really didn't. She didn't have to be nice to them. She could have said, I am not going to talk to you guys ever again. Just stay as far away from me as possible. But instead, she took them to the castle with her and she found them husbands. Okay, so she gave them a good life, even though they had been mean the whole entire time. The rough-faced girl. Now, it doesn't talk too much about how she responds to the sisters per se, but remember when she had gone to her father and she asked for some new things too, just like they had done the day before, so that they could go marry the invisible being, and he gave the sisters everything. Okay, so when she got there, he didn't have anything to give her except for some broken shells, and he didn't have a new buckskin dress for her, and his old moccasins that were way too big and had big old holes in them. And so, nothing that would have been considered beautiful. And most people would have been kind of ungrateful and been like, no thanks, I do not want that, that's junk, whatever. But she was very grateful for whatever he gave her, and she took what he gave her and made it better. Okay, so she improvised. So her response was, she was grateful to her dad, and instead of using the word improvise, let's use that word resourceful. That was a word that we learned back in our animal unit when we talked about Little Red Riding Hood. She used what she had to make it work. Okay, sometimes everybody has to be a little resourceful. All right, so she was resourceful. She used what she had. Just like that old saying that we use in class, some of you guys like to finish it off with you get what you get and you appreciate it, or you get what you get and you don't throw a fit. Okay, that's what she did. She got what she got and she appreciated it. Okay, so she was resourceful. She used it to make it better. Okay, she didn't complain. Okay, so she kept her kind heart that whole entire time.